Welcome to your Half Moon check-in, where I use Lenormand cards to give some additional advice around the 3 life themes that popped up in the last new moon or full moon tarot readings. I use tarot cards to peel back the emotional layers of a problem, and Lenormand cards to make the to-do list that will help fix it. Enjoy your follow-up Lenormand reading on today's topic. You can always return to the tarot reading that inspired it to hear more. Check the description box below. Hello everyone, and welcome to your Half Moon check-in. Last week was a full lunar eclipse, which isn't the easiest energy. We've just come through eclipse season. It's just tapering off now. All of the stories that come up in eclipse season will take 6 months to play out. You can go back to that video from last week, and I talk a little bit about eclipse season. In these videos, I use Lenormand cards, which is a different kind of card tool than tarot. The tarot is really good at going into emotions and deep spiritual reasons for things. Now, you can get that information from the Lenormand, but it is best at giving you very practical, down-to-earth advice on the actions to take and the possible outcomes if you do. So in honor of eclipse season, and to follow up on the topics from last week, the question I've asked for this reading is, how will letting go of mimicking others on social media improve your everyday? 2 things about this question. Firstly, I think this applies to many of us these days, particularly if you're trying to make a living via marketing on social media. But I also think it just applies to all of us because we're all posting. We're all self-branding on the internet. And in true Lenormand style, this reading is going to give you some very simple common sense answers, but living them is the hard part. Now, for these readings, I also chose to pull an oracle card for each of us, and your oracle card is Come to Life. I'm going to read a little bit from Alana Fairchild's book from this Sacred Rebels Oracle. You are the most sacred of all sacred artworks. Now, I bet you knew this was the kind of answer coming to my channel that you were going to get. But let that sink in. Don't just scoff at it. You are the most sacred of all sacred artworks. Social media can be art. In fact, real humans respond to art. What's life worth living without art in it? So the book goes on. You are the most sacred of all sacred artworks. You are bringing yourself to life now, and this is how it must be. Of course, something being essential doesn't mean it will always be easy. And we are going to talk about that in this reading. I have a little something I need to explain here. So in the Lenormand deck, there is a card that represents you, and there's a card that represents significant people to you. Now, traditionally, that's a man and a woman. This deck, thankfully, offers some other options, and I was really drawn to you being the cat in this spread. And interestingly, the cat, which represented you going into the spread, came out in the position of you in the spread. So there you are. You beautiful little black cat familiar you. Now, the other card traditionally represents your significant other. In this particular reading, the significant other is your followers on social media, the people you connect with. Now, that can be family and friends, or that can be potential clients, or that can be potential people you want to do an incredible project with. And in this case, it's a bunch of bats. So for these readings, I choose a 9-card Lenormand square. But here I've just put out the first 2 diagonals because they're some of the most important information in the spread, and I'd like you to be able to follow along really easily. So we start with the U card. You, my little black cat, ended up in the U position, so the focus is on you, and I love that for you with this question of, how will letting go of mimicking others on social media improve your everyday? Now that seems obvious. You will be given you. You, all the answers lie in you. They don't lie outside of you. I think it's also interesting that you're a black cat here. Now, normally with Lenormand, I don't go into the imagery on the cards. That's a tarot thing to do. But in this case, you are opaque to you. There is a reason you don't want to look at yourself and express your authenticity online. And that's what's in the way. And the rest of the cards are going to speak to that a little bit. Now, I'm not someone who just gives positive messages. And I was very open to the outcome of this question being, Actually, it's good to mimic people sometimes because that's what makes you money. But spoiler alert, in this reading, you get the money being you. You get the followers being you. In the middle of your spread, which speaks to the topic and also has influence over the outcome of the entire reading, you get one of the most positive cards in the deck, the Star card. And the Star card also is the internet in Lenormand cards. You plus the internet plus fish, which is money. All things abundant. But in this case, I am reading these cards for the relationship case because really social media is and should be about relationship building, even with the changes we're experiencing today in 2026. Let's still make that true. Let's normalize that social media is about authentic relationship building. So here, the central card, the focus, is finding the right people on the internet. And I'm sure that you've heard this from other people with wisdom in marketing. The whole point is to get the right people. Just likes doesn't get you any further than that 1 second you get a like. Now, how do you make deep connection? You only make deep connection because you have overlap, genuine overlap with those people. A second piece of advice here is to shift your mindset from competition to symbiosis. That can be in the form of concrete, overt collaborations, but that can also just be at looking how what's important to you is important to adjacent interests and fields. How can you weave your way around the internet, weaving beautiful people and ideas together for the benefit for everyone? It takes a village, and you're looking for your online village. Easier said than done these days, but not impossible, and this spread is saying it's very possible for you. And that's what I'd like to speak to next, because if we look at the first diagonal, we have you, plus a healing miracle on the internet, plus fish, dreams of success and riches. This spread is saying it's possible, and I ask you, how does that make you feel? Because that is the crux of this reading. I'm not sure you're comfortable with success, with holding success. And that's a more common emotion for people than we would expect looking at the internet. The second theme is really just restating the first theme. Book plus stars plus the followers you're looking for. Gaining supportive real people over likes. So now we're going to move on to the time series in the Lenormand 9-card square. You have the past, the present, and the near future. So in column 1, I'm going to add in Fox. And so now we have between you and your former followers, because this is in the past, the Fox. And the Fox is the card of being clever, deceitful even. Now, deceit is a very ancient word. We don't need to use that here. But if you were mimicking people in the past on your accounts, that would count. That's an illusion. And it may have gotten you a number of followers. And I could see how it'd be easy to get trapped there. But I would say that it's not making you feel very secure. And there's more information about that in the top row that I'll go into in a little bit. So one of the first things that you're going to gain if you stop mimicking others on the internet is less insecurity, a kind of confidence that you're making real connections that will last. Not people who subscribe and forget and never come back because you don't have enough overlap for it to be meaningful to them. Now we move on to the present, and I'll add in clouds and heart. Here, this row here starts to really speak of your fogginess, of you not being clear about perhaps what you want to say, what you want to commit to, or even revealing yourself at all. Are you ready for what you're asking for? Now, the heart falling right next to your followers. This is genuine friendship here. I think that's pretty obvious from that symbolism. People plus heart. Now there's this technique in Lenormand. It comes from the Grand Tableau. The Grand Tableau is a sweeping spread where you lay out all 36 cards. And it speaks to your entire life. But in that spread, you look at a relationship between cards that are 2 down and 1 over. It's sort of the way the knight moves in a chess game. That's how I remember it. And they have a relationship. So here I see you in a tense relationship with heart, with being genuine on the internet. What's that about? So to stop mimicking other people, you've got to get really comfortable with the idea of doing it on the internet, with yourself, with what really excites you to express on the internet. You need to get comfortable being open to others, to genuinely connecting with them. Because I can see from this spread that it's really only genuine connection that, 1, really motivates you, and 2, gets you real material reciprocity with the people you're connecting to. But do you really genuinely want to connect to them, or does that make you very uncomfortable? But I would say column 2, which is now, you're getting ready. You're getting ready to trust the process, and you're getting ready to trust freedom and success and rewards. Unfortunately, it isn't strange. It can be very common that people have difficulty accepting rewards. Unfortunately, it is common, but there is a lot of wisdom out there to access on how to move past it. And I'm going to link you to my new favorite obsessive therapeutic content by Carolyn Elliott. It's called Existential Kink. I'll link the book and a podcast below. Now we'll move to the final outcome, and I'm going to add in the sun card. So look at this. Star plus sun. You got 2 of the most positive cards in the entire deck, and you got it moving into the future. If you say yes to this process, you will get those genuine connections, and you will get that reciprocity in time. Book plus sun plus fish. Your genuine knowledge will enrich the world, and you'll experience that true reciprocity with your genuine connections. So, row 1, the most important thing, the key to this entire endeavor, dig into your fears of success. Once you do that, do some planning around what is the message you really want to put out there. And you can be strategic about your message, but be strategic about a genuine message. Don't be strategic just for the hell of it, for likes, empty likes. If you do this, you will gain loyalty. The fox is very loyal to its own family, its close connections. You're going to make family on the internet if you choose. Now, I hope that helps. I will link last week's tarot reading for you down below, and I hope to see you next week for the new moon tarot readings in Pisces.